Welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Well, if you're coming back, just know that we do still have the key to language cover. And if you're brand new, again, welcome. Whenever I show my receipts, whenever there is an inappropriate word or anything like that, I created a key because I'm a nerd that this way you'll know exactly what they said because some of the guys they might try to call me the B word and some might want to call me the C word. So this way there's no question, you know exactly which one they called me. And we have a new one. If you look at the garbage bags, you see which word it is. So and yeah, there's another one that I added, but it's not in. I will fix that soon. But yeah, you don't have to worry about that one in this episode. But anyway, go grab a snack and everything. Let's get this started. If you need to pause, I'll wait, but let's go. Because because we have the monster scale. If you're new, welcome again, but yeah, with the monster scale, after you see this dating nightmare, you're going to be able to rate them and put in the messages 1 through 6. What type of monster do you think they are? Do you think it's level 1, maybe more of a middle 3 or 4, or 6? But I mean, it could be any of the numbers 1 through 6. It can even be like a 2.793. Like if you want to even put the number of pi, it's up to you. But yeah, just put it down the messages so we can all compare and everything. But there's another game as well because we have before and after. 3 words before, 3 words after. So I'm going to show you the person's picture before, and you can pause the video and you're going to write 3 words that describe this person, in your opinion, of course. And then after I do the episode and go through and show you what he wrote, my opinion, and everything like that, then you're going to write your 3 words after. And so then in the messages, you can write the 3 words before and the 3 words after, because it kind of symbolizes the first date. Because when you meet somebody, when you first see them, sometimes you kind of automatically think of certain things in your head. But then at the end of the night, a lot of times either they change or develop but yeah, that's one reason I think this is kind of an interesting thing to do. But let's go, because today we have Joshua. Yeah, Joshua's 44, male, tall. I think, yeah, I forgot how tall, but tallish. He's Caucasian. He's thin. He has at least one piercing. And yeah, so you can pause it if you need to write down your 3 words of what you think of him now. So yeah, if he walked up to you, if you met him for dinner or anything like that, what would you think? What would you tell yourself? And so let's get into what he wrote. Yeah, yeah. And like I said, I know I'm not perfect, and I know my standards are pretty high, but they're high because when I used to have more trust in men, yeah, they show, yeah. So, oh yeah, listen to my podcast. I have over 60 something episodes now, and I talk about my dating experience, dating life, and like the full blown stories of everything. So, if you listen to podcasts, I'm on majority of the podcast networks and everything. So, Handicapable Black Woman on there too. So, but yeah, I think you read, this is just the start. This is just the beginning. So let's see what else he wrote, because yeah, he decided to just try to write me a full blown essay. And I enlarged the beginning because the beginning was kind of, I don't know, it made no sense to me, but at the same time, I felt like a teacher, like, okay, I guess I gotta read this because it's like you put this much, but then why did he put this much work into it? But then he just proved that we're not compatible. He just proved that with my standards that he highly disagrees. But you're going to see a lot of guys who they see my standards and they put me down, and in some ways some gaslight me, some are narcissists, some it's like you could tell some of these men have issues, but it's like if you need to pause and read the rest of it and everything. And yeah, it's like at least, there's diversity within his swearing. So at least he has that. But yeah, it's like let me tell you something. The good guys have records. The good guys don't care about politics. The good guys don't have degrees. He just told me so much about himself with this part alone. With this part alone, he's already told me so much about him. And that crosses off 3 items on my list that literally 3 strikes, you're really out. Because I still try to have hope where if a guy doesn't have a degree, a certification, or a trade, it's like if he understands me and understands my education and doesn't tell me that a woman's job is the only job a woman has is to have his babies, cook and clean, because I've had men tell me this. And you're gonna I have the receipts too. But it's like if I meet a guy who doesn't fit the patterns that I keep running into, and I'll repeat, I keep running into, then great. But it's like, again, listen to my podcast episodes because I've I dated one. Well, he blackmailed, he threatened. Yeah, it's a complicated story, but listen to the Mr. Lockakey episodes. He didn't even have a GED, but he lied to me. He told me he had a high school diploma. His female friend snitched on him, so that was kind of the funny part. But yeah, I dated him for a while. But it wasn't by choice. Like I said, it's complicated. Listen to the podcast. But then he says the good guys have records. Who again actually this happened 2 or 3 times where Mr. Lockakey, and then there was another guy that I went on a date with who, yeah, they both were convicted of different things. I know. But yeah, when you have a disability and you walk different, a lot of men tell you that you don't deserve much, and your options are, yeah, bottom shelf. Yeah. We'll talk about that a different time. But yeah, the good guys have records. I still remember the night where Mr. Lockakey begged to take me out to dinner, and I'll say the whole story really soon, but on the podcast. But I remember getting back to the house and everything, and then he said he had to run back to my car because yeah, we drove my car, and found out he had some certain items in there. So yeah, let's just. But then he, I don't have a criminal record whatsoever. I try to have as much of a clean life as humanly possible, and I'm trying to work on my business. I have 3 degrees, 2 certifications. So it's like I'm always trying to build on myself, learn more, expand on myself so I can be as amazing as I possibly can because you only live once and I want it to be fulfilling. But there's been at least a few men who brag and laugh when they put my life in danger and my livelihood in danger because it's just When you think of guys who write things like this and then they think it's funny or they're serious, it's like, okay, just picture. I write children's books and novels and different things like that, but if I had gotten pulled over when my ex had that stuff in his car, do you think the police would have believed me if I said that's not mine? I didn't know it was in there? Because most police, they're trained. It's like it's everybody's. If it's in the vehicle, it's everybody's. But he, I remember like my Mr. Lockakey laughed and he thought it was so funny. And he was just like, well, you're just such a goody goody. It's like it would have just, if we did get pulled over, I would have just laughed because at least now you would be part of the system or whatever. So when guys try to tell me or judge me or call me stuck up and stuff, I'm like, you're dealing with my goals and dreams. And it's like, even here, the years, wisdom, honor, respect, something you won't gain because all you want is this and that. Thinking of yourself, do you realize what kind of world you live in today? And it's like, what? Like, because that's the thing, like, when he wrote me, I don't know if you noticed, but it was around 4 o'clock in the morning. So I kind of wonder, did he take a lot of sippy sip before he wrote this because he's random and all over the place. And he's literally just trying to tell me that the men that I think would be good for me are no good. And he, it like, I don't know. But then, especially at the end, he says, it's like, you realize what kind of world you live in today. Duh. And then part of me is like, duh, yeah. I know what kind of world we live in today. Yes, and these are only some of the issues. But then also in a lot of inner cities, we have like food deserts and things like that as well. And we can't even get the Crown Act to pass. So it's like, yes, I know there are so many issues that our country alone has. And it's like, I don't know what he's trying to tell me, what he's trying to teach me, but yeah, he spoke to the wrong person with that one because, again, I care about politics. He says the good guys don't. So, yeah, maybe since he doesn't care about politics, maybe he's part of the reason that Roe versus Wade got canceled out. But, anyway. But with my profile, yes, I have high standards, but again, I have faced a lot. I've been on dates where men tell me women have no need for an education. I I have met men who tell me our only job is to have babies, cook, clean, and do their laundry. Literally. And when I say that, when I talk about my business and my books and what I'm trying to do, they tell me I'm going to fail. I might as well quit now. It's stupid. Why are you doing this? You're wasting your time. You're a woman. What do you think you're like? You think you're going to actually do something? And with my disability, oh, you're nothing but a, like they say the R word or just, yeah. And part of me is like, but you expect me to date you? You expect me to have kids with you? Like, and it's crazy because some of these men actually get mad. They get mad when I tell them I'm not interested in them anymore. Or I kind of wasn't in the first place, but it's like in the back of my head, I keep thinking, okay, I do want kids. And if I want kids, yeah, a guy is part of the ingredient to have kids. So, but yeah. And a lot of these men hate that I went to college and I finished and I went back and I finished again. And then I went back and I finished again. And then on top of that, I went and got two certifications. So guys tell me that I wasted my money, and some like eat like, and it's crazy the conversations I've had, but some of them, you wasted your money. You know you're never going to use your education. Well, actually, actually I use all of my degrees. I use all of them. I have my bachelor's in English, and guess what I'm doing? I'm writing novels and creating children's books. And it's like I have a gamification certification. It's like I create games with a lot of the novels and books that I'm doing and activity. So, and with my other degrees, I use all of them. And it's amusing how the men try to tell me that I'm wasting my time, that I wasted my money, that I should care more about having babies when I care. It's like, but I need the financial stability too. I want to make sure that I have what is necessary so that my kids can have a wonderful, beautiful, stable life. And it's like trying to find a guy that understands that and that will partner with me, because another podcast episode I need to talk about with Mr. No Heart, which I talk about a lot in the podcast too. We started a business, and because he begged me to start this business, because and he knows I'm business oriented. I want to start businesses, so there's an area where he is talented in. So the next thing, he has terrible credit and he didn't have any money, blah blah blah. So next thing I know, I spent money and busted my tush off doing the research and like creating charts, and I was doing my thing. But then after 6 months, he decided he'd rather play his video games. And it's like he just decided that he wanted to be lazy and not, even though he would go to work and then, yeah, not make enough money because he was buying different luxury things that he wanted for himself because he was a selfish human being. But then near the end of the week, he didn't have enough for gas to get to work. So guess who he needed to borrow the money from? And yeah, with the borrow, he never paid back. Yeah, me. And guess who would play video games all weekend long, basically? But then he couldn't, like with the business, I was the one literally handling the website and the research portion and the consumer portion and everything. And I did the research and developed, and I was doing so much. And we were doing such an amazing job, or well, I was doing such an amazing job that even like 6 months like after he was done, I was still getting calls asking for for the services again, everything, and I was just like, wow. And so just know that I'm saving my money because the stuff is still at his house. So I am working on my other businesses, saving up my money so I can go and get my stuff so I can start that business again. And I may need some help with that, especially with the disability or whatever. So I'm not going to act like I can do all and everything just like everybody else. I have my limits, I know. But at the same time, I know business and I have an MBA. And again, most men tell me, you don't use your education any. Oh, trust me, I do. And it's like with my children's books, with my novels and everything, I created a business plan and I'm doing my marketing. It's like I'm creating quite a few streams of income right now. And I will admit it's going to take time, but it's like I'm determined. And the sad thing is, a lot of men don't like that. A lot of men just want me to stay home and cook and clean and have their babies. But then, in my opinion, a lot of them aren't. the quality of man that I want to have children with, because that's lifelong. And I can't see myself having a lifelong commitment to this gentleman, because even if we break up, or if we don't get married, or if we do get married and divorce, we will never get married. But anyway, just imagine, just because, like, if we divorce and stuff, if we have a kid, we still have the kid. And it's like I'm still going to be around my child. And I hope he is still going to be around the child. So that means I'm going to be stuck with this guy for the rest of my life. And so this guy says that it's like he wants to put me down, when my decision with having a child with someone is a huge deal. And with some of these dating apps, some of these guys act like women should just not care at all. But that's a huge decision, a huge decision. And then he wants to call me stuck up, and it's like, you know what? Okay. It's like, stuck up coming from a man like you, I'll take that as a compliment, because I'm tired of men limiting me, because men have told me you're black, so you're not going to succeed or go anywhere. It's like no one's going to take you seriously because you're black. Or the only reason people are going to buy your book or pay any attention to you is because you're black. Or, oh, you have a disability, what can you possibly do? It's like you're not going to do anything. And then being a woman, it's like, oh, it's like you think you can be in a man's world, and it's like your job is to take care of kids. It's like you won't know how to run anything and make it successful and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's like he probably would just want me to end up like how he was. I don't know what he did. This is my opinion, because if you read the message, he says the good guys have records. Okay, so I'm thinking that he thinks he's a good guy. So if he's a good guy, he has a record. It's like if he's a good guy, then he doesn't care about politics. So it's like he wants to put him, or basically, he wants to blast me for not being interested in him, when I have a right to not be interested in him. It's like, I, there are qualities that I do and do not want. And again, there are some guys who have high school diplomas who are great guys, but I kept running into the guys who have high school diplomas, who tell me that I wasted my money, that I was dumb for getting my degrees, that I'm not going to use any of it anyways, that I'm a woman, I'm supposed to just be having their babies and things like that. And yeah, it just gets like, and also, what do you think we're going to talk about on a date? In the messages, please let me know, what do you think we're going to talk about on a date? Because it's, and then he wants to say I'm selfish. It's my body. I want to have kids with somebody, but I have to, yeah, that's an intimate thing, and that's my body. So, yeah, I'm going to be selfish. So, and oh, I'm going to be talking on the podcast a lot. It's like I've been talking a lot about dating lately, but dating from a black person's perspective, a woman's perspective, and a disability perspective, because I keep having men who tell me they want to take me out to dinner, but then it's like I go Dutch, because I've had so many men basically tell me that, oh, you just wanted a free dinner. No, it's like a date is like an interview. Once I see we're not compatible, it's like, no, thank you. And then some guys, it's like they literally try to force me or tell me that I have to the point where it's like, yeah, I'm selfish. It's like I just want to do Zoom calls right now until I feel like I'm safe, because it's like, can we talk about me? I want to talk about, no, it's like, I want to talk about him too, but can we talk? A lot of these guys, they don't care who I am. They don't care about my identity. They don't care what I stand for. They don't care what I'm like, what I'm working on, or what my dreams are, and like what my goals are. It's like, I've asked so many men what their goals are, and next thing I know, it's like, what? What kind of stupid question is that? Or one of my favorites, one guy was like, "Oh, my goal is to get you in my bed tonight." Great. Oh, that's so attractive. So, but yeah, this guy, I mean, if he thinks he's amazing, I'm glad he thinks he is amazing. We will agree to disagree. But the ending, he got me on with the ending, because the air, well, sweetheart, to put it too high, you might drown when it rains. He's saying I'm so stuck up that when it rains, I drown and everything. So, yeah. So you know what? Maybe, and it's been raining a lot lately. So I've survived so far. And then he wants to say that I'm in the house all the time. And you know what? I've been in the house quite a lot. Well, working on my business and like working on things for my future, for my life, and also with my job that I love. And it's not his cup of tea. And he definitely is not my cup of tea. But if he's your cup of tea, guys, check him out. I mean, because now it's like, yeah, this is him. This is him. And it's time for you guys to do the 3 words after. What do you think about him now? And also, what are you going to rate him on the monster scale? It's like, I know what I'm going to rate him, but first I want to see what you guys think. But you guys know, if you've been watching some of my episodes, my novel, The Super They Drained Out of Me, will be coming out pretty soon. I also have my children's books and everything, which I'm gonna slide those in some of the next episodes and everything. But I do have one of my children's books that, it's like, it was my first. I'm different, you're different, we're all different. That one's out. And I actually have 4 new children's books coming out early in 2024 as well. I might have one for the holidays, it depends. But yeah, it's like, check it out. But you guys have a great and amazing. Welcome
Hello
to the
and welcome back to the
Handicapable Black
Handicapable
Woman
Black
Throne
Woman
Room.
Throne
My
Room.
view of
My view of
humanity is
humanity
a
is a
whole new
whole new
tea.
tea.
Welcome